those that want to distance themselves with more and with all this controversy is what's going to happen if he does get elected. And that's where it really gets bad. Thune is basically saying that if Moore wins his race, there's going to be immediately be an ethics investigation, which is going to cloud. And he'll be operating in this cloud. It's going to be a distraction for us to get our agenda done. So, ultimately the decision is up to the people of Alabama, but it strikes me, at least, that it would be in their best interest and in the country's best interest, and certainly the best interest of our agenda, if the president would use his influence to try to get Roy Moore to step aside. And it leads me back, Al Franken. The left has done what the left should be doing. They're condemning his actions. Now, I do not think for a moment that the allegations, all of them, against Roy Moore, and I will say this again, and I've had some people that don't agree with me, and that's okay. I don't expect everybody to agree with me. I think there's way too many allegations. I understand how hateful, I understand how liberal the papers are, I understand the climate of politics today, how dirty it is, and that just because somebody has an allegation doesn't mean it's true. I get that. I understand it. But there's just one too many. And to be honest with you, I just don't buy the statements from Roy Moore being vindicated, feeling as if he never did anything. And I understand how some men are where, man, this happened 40 years ago. Get over it. This happened 30 years ago, 20 years ago. I mean, as early as the 2000s. There was, what, 2008 incident? There's, plenty of teenage girls there. And to me, if you take it as a parent and say, how old was it that you'd found out that, your best friend was at 30 years old, you find that he was groping your 14-year-old. Would it be all right? But it happened, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Who cares? Would you care? Just, oh, it's okay. I why did you just tell me? Well, I was scared. But all these women were coming out, and I figured, well, geez, maybe we can finally, get this guy atone for some of his sins, because he definitely hurt me, and et cetera, et cetera. I don't want to discount every single story that somebody came up with, and he doesn't do a very good job defending himself. It just seems like the politics supersede the ethics. And there's going to be an ethics investigation for the whole thing anyways, folks, regardless, because I do think that people want to know what the truth is, ultimately what it is. It's just, do you want that kind of person that has that kind of background in that type of position? I don't think they're deserving of it. I know everybody has, skeletons here and there in their past. I get it. But those kind of skeletons, man, I'm afraid that our country really doesn't need those type of people into those leadership positions. And especially as we complain so much of injustices in our country, inequality, that we want these things and we want justice for all. And my point is, if there is a remote chance that Roy Moore did these things to these girls, then he doesn't certainly deserve to be in that position. And that's my takeaway from this, folks. I know it's hurtful to many people that are conservative, thinking you're hurting our cause. You're hurting us. I'm not trying to hurt our cause. I understand what the cause is, but at the same time, and I'm not a bleeding liberal. I get emails that say, oh, you sound like a bleeding liberal, because they say this stuff. Look, if it doesn't matter to you, then that's on you. But people do get hurt and people do get attacked. And you just heard massage envy before the break from women and guys getting taken advantage of, mostly women, vulnerable, getting taken advantage of and coming out. And I'm telling you, folks, this is just the beginning of the iceberg. There's more of this stuff. There's a purging that's coming out. And to me, if somebody did this 20, 30 years ago, yes, they still should be dealt with. They should be judged. they should be charged. Maybe it's just a hearsay seat. Well, you can't prove anything. So nobody's word is worth anything anymore. We can't believe anybody. I mean, what has it become this way? Well, we got to get it in writing. These women should have came out sooner. Well, mark my words that after all of this, you're going to see a lot more women coming out and against anybody. So you're never going to be able to get away with this anymore. But until that fully takes root, you're going to see more people, more companies getting accused of these things that they did years ago, because now it's acceptable, it's okay, because of celebrities coming out talking about sexual abuse and the mishandling, the things that they went through. So to me, at this point, just for the better of our democracy, there should be a write-in. If there's any, and I support what Senator John Thune has to say. He's a Republican, folks, out of South Dakota. And I support him and what he says for the direction of our country. And here's the other takeaway. Donald Trump has been accused of a lot of things. Of course, groping. He says he wants to grab, people. Remember all the things that he said that he did, et cetera, and, the mishandling of women, the mistreatment of women, and all these other things. This plays into the narrative, too, of Republicans not being sympathetic to these particular things. That could backfire. The president really has not been really outspoken about these allegations, but, he basically just says things like, well, Roy Moore says that he's not guilty. Well, everybody in prison says they're not guilty. It's kind of a dodgy thing. And if it happened to your daughter, is that something that you'd say? I'd feel a little snaky about it, and I feel really snaky given the nature, too, of these salacious charges against this man. And I just cannot believe that every single one of them, just like Bill Cosby. There's some people that say, oh, Bill Cosby never did that. Come on. Just like, well, it's to be the same group that believe that Bill Cosby wasn't guilty that says that O.J. Simpson, and there's people that believe it, O.J. Simpson did not kill Nicole Smith. He didn't kill Ron Goldman. There's people that still do that and feel like the guy was just, he should have never done any jail time. He's still my hero. What was that movie that he was in, Tower Inferno or something like that? He was like some kind of savior there in the movie. The juice on the loose. That was the big headline when he got out, the juice on the loose. Yeah, I don't know where, I think OJ is keeping his nose clean for the moment here, but not a lot of headlines out of him. I think he's just trying to be cool and collect, but believe me, OJ will be back on the scene again. Making money, some book. He'll be touting something, be seen somewhere. Supposedly he's going to be moving down the road from us here in Florida. I think his kids own some real estate in St. Petersburg, so he'll be over the bridge from us. I'm in Tampa, but I am certain that you're going to see the juice at games around Tampa Bay. People have photographs with him. There's strip clubs around here. I'm sure we'll see him in the paper. He'll probably end up here. Here is something very touching, and this is a beautiful thing. It's titled, Dad's Final Love Letter to Daughter for Birthday Goes Viral. That's the headline. My dad passed away when I was 16 from cancer, and before he died, he prepaid flowers so I could receive them every year on my birthday. Well, this is my 21st birthday. Flowers and the last. Missed you so much, Daddy. Bailey, this is my last love letter. This is from the father to the daughter. This is my last love letter to you until we meet again. I do not want you to shed another tear for my baby girl, for I am in a better place. You are and always will be the most popular, precious jewel I was given. It is your 21st birthday, and I want you to always respect your mama and yourself. Be happy and live life to the fullest. I will be with you through every milestone. Just look around, and there'll be me. Bailey tweeted the note along with a photo and flowers and an earlier picture with her dad. And she said that my dad passed away when I was 16 from cancer, and before he died, he prepaid flowers so I could receive them every year on my birthday. Well, this is my 21st birthday. Flowers in the last. Miss you so much, Daddy. Bailey posted on Twitter on Friday. Well, since then, the tweet went viral, retweeted 352,000 times, and liked 1,438,630 by the time early Monday today. Christy Sellers, Bailey's mother, was telling ABC that she was sitting on the couch with her husband about a month before he died, and he came up with this idea. How touching. To do something that sweet, to be there long after death. And, it just kind of gets you thinking you can be doing things like that for your loved ones, where you can set up little birthday things. It's kind of really weird about people that pass away with Facebook, where you see their birthday or their page never shut down, where it's like it's their birthday, wish them a happy birthday until their account, is shut down. But it's like, ooh, creepy. But, with a living will, you can speak from the grave. So that's kind of creative things that you can do for your loved ones. So, if somebody sings you happy birthday, you might be able to put something together for all those birthdays when you're not around. And, have something delivered or even something made at a bakery where, if you have the means, the money to do it, that's something creative that you can do for your grandkids. You can do for your own kids. You could pay somebody's mortgage off. You could do inclement, whatever. Be creative to keep your memory alive and to let your loved ones know that you were thinking of them. And that's the kindest thing. And I got to tell you, I'm here now, 47 years old. And one of the greatest acts of love that a parent can do is have life insurance. My dad had heart disease. I don't think he really knew it. And if he did, he kept it from, we didn't know. Also, we knew he had high blood pressure. But he smoked, had a bad diet, 99% blockage in his arteries, killed him. But he took life insurance out. And so all of us, all 5 kids, got, multiple thousands of dollars. I mean, pretty healthy sum. And through Blue Cross Blue Shield. And the agent that gave me a call, and after he got the death certificate, had me come in, got the check, and then we had to divide it and all that for all of us, but said that your dad had so much love for your kids. He wanted you guys to have this, and he spoke so fondly and so lovingly, and this is what he wanted to do for you. And it doesn't bring you back, but it really, through a tough time, it helps people do things. You hope they do something good with it, because sometimes you can give too much, where people consider blood money, and you can read what shrinks have to say about money. But if you got a larger sum and you're leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars, you don't have to give it all in one dole. You can have the lawyer, the 18th birthday or 21st birthday or 35th birthday. They give out a little bit more, and then all of it the time they're 40, so they don't go below it, or contingent on, getting a degree or some kind of scholarship or some kind of trade where there's some incentive to actually get the money. So that could be creative too. But let me suggest this, and if anything taught us that we should have some kind of will going for us, is during the Terry Schindler-Schiavo deal, where people in Florida were lining up to see attorneys left and right to just make sure that they were set, just in case. That way there would be no question as to what your wishes are. So I tell people, have your estate figured out, buried or cremation, all of those particulars there. That's the best gift that you can give to a loved one, so they're not guessing, and that families are not feuding. It's the craziest time where people are trying to grieve, trying to just get through the pain of missing you. So get a will. It's not the, I know, it's not the most beautiful thing that you want to talk about, but it's a reality, folks, that all of us have to, we have to digest it one way or another. So if you haven't done it yet, just do it, and that way it's done, then you don't have to worry. The FBI failed to notify scores of U.S. officials that Russian hackers were trying to break into their personal Gmail accounts. Did you hear this one? Oh, yeah. Nearly 80 interviewed with Americans targeted by Fancy Bear, a Russian government, allegedly cyber